What's good, y'all? Happy Friday. We got Kaj and Jonah back again. So if you guys have some wholesale questions, we got wholesale expertise in the building. If you guys are watching the replay, make sure you guys check out their regular YouTube channels and all that good stuff. They make lots of good content. And yeah, let us know what questions you guys got. It's a beautiful Friday. Q4 is imminent. And yeah. So what kind of like Q4 prep do you guys do? I guess that's a good like wholesale type question. Because for us, it's like a lot of sellers will make like half the revenue for the whole year in the last like 2.5 months. So do you guys do anything special to prep for Q4?
For me, I'm just
I was like waiting to
no.
Yeah,
nothing
special. Yeah, nothing.
Same old, but to be honest, financing. Like we got out of the debt with the last loan we took, eased out. Everything's been like back on track, but now, I do want to take advantage of Q4. So looking for some outside funding.
Okay, so basically you already have enough lead flow pretty much, and then it's just basically getting the capital required to buy it, which is basically the teetering issues with having an Amazon business. Typically when you're new, you can't find enough SKUs. Now you have an overhaul of SKUs to buy basically, or to restock or potential relationships, etc. But you need the capital to do it, basically.
For me, this Q4 is a little different than normal. I don't even know if I could say I've ever had a normal Q4, but working closely with some brands on some marketing stuff. So like this past week and a half, I've been like in the weeds of TikTok Shop, getting the back end of stuff set up. So trying to help some brands get creators for that, because obviously TikTok Shop is another platform that's blown up right now, but also Amazon's just part of the customer shopping journey, right? So if a product gains traction on one platform, that's also going to help get some traction on Amazon as well. Got another brand, they've got like a big email list that they haven't sent an email to in a long time. And when they told me, I was like, what are you doing? So working on them with getting that warmed up. So yeah, a lot of stuff, I guess, on the marketing side. And then also, like Jonah said, some financing as well. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I guess I would assume with the email list, you're trying to drive a lot of like off Amazon. There'd be no reason to drive them to Amazon at that point.
Feeds,
yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And then, so do you guys mind breaking down how what you guys do is different than online and retail arbitrage?
Yeah, Jonah, you got that?
You want to start, Kosh?
Okay, I'll take it.
He said, I'll throw the lob. Nope, throw it back. Okay.
Yeah, so online arbitrage, right? You're shopping at big box retailers, online websites, buying the product low, selling it high on Amazon. Wholesale, the concept is similar, right? We're buying products low, selling them high. But the difference with wholesale is where we're getting those products. So we're not shopping online. We're purchasing from large distributors, or preferably directly from the brands. And we are getting discounts because of the quantity that we're buying. So we're getting wholesale pricing. And sometimes those discounts also include additional services that we're offering to our partners, like fixing up the listings, running a little bit of PPC advertising, that sort of thing.
Bang. Sweet. Yeah. So let us know what questions you guys got. Somebody's asking what books you recommend. What are some of y'all's favorite books?
All right, that's a good
I
one.
like that one. I like that one.
Come up more often, man. Yeah, because that was a foundational part of changing my whole mindset with everything. Like literally almost 6 years ago. But I'll let y'all answer. I got some good ones too.
Favorite business book for me that I've read recently is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Absolutely fire book.
That is a good one.
Changed the way I run my business. Definitely recommend.
Yeah. On a mine's very cliche, but like on a personal level, it was like How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's like a book that like everyone has read. And then like one of the first business books that I liked was 4 Hour Work Week and Lean Startup. Those are some pretty common ones, but I don't hear too many people talking about Lean Startup. I like that one.
Yeah, I know a lot of these you can get like the audio version too and just listen to it like it's a podcast.
No, you got to read it like an adult. You got to read it like an adult.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
No. But like at the ground level, base level person that hasn't read a book in 10 years needs to be an adult and read. You know what I mean? They got, they got $6 on Amazon. get the used copy that's beat up that has the last guy's notes in it because you need to see his notes as well.
That's a hack.
Buy specifically used acceptable so that you know there's as much writing as possible in it.
But it has to be prime though. So you got to buy like the guy who's doing like $4, right, just to build reviews because he doesn't even know that doesn't even matter on Amazon anymore. But yeah, okay. All right.
Yep.
I'll low key. I mean, Billy Flip still has the Sell the Xbox scholarship out there, so I'll offer some type of similar thing. But, okay, best books in my opinion at ground level. Warner said 4 Hour Workweek. That one's fire. Rich Dad Poor Dad's really good as well.
That's another great one.
Facts. And that's more on the personal side of things, but it's very important. It's a lot of applicable business shit in it too. And then Crush It by Gary Vee is really, really good as well too. That's like really, really foundational one. So I'd say those 3 are probably my 3 favorites.
Yep. Yeah, and if you need an Amazon specific book, right there, go check out Corey's book. Corey literally wrote the book on Amazon Wholesale.
We'll add Jonah back in once.
Yeah. I think we
got the all in. This is the all-in podcast layout right here too. Right. How much is Boxum currently? And is it a monthly / yearly payment or once in a lifetime? So Boxum, you can get it base level. It's going to be $50 a month, or you could do the yearly, which will end up being a little bit cheaper right there. And it's just either monthly or yearly specifically, but you can try it 2 weeks for free. Now's a great time to go ahead and do that as well, just because Q4 is coming up. 2D barcode chip is going to make your workflow a lot easier. And we got a bunch of new features coming soon to Boxum as well, Joe. So definitely make sure y'all check that out too.
We got you back here, Jonah. I think you're a lot less grainy.
Yeah, no, it sounds good now.
Sweet, yeah.
Dude, yeah. New Wi-Fi, I guess. Getting used to this Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Jonah, someone had asked like favorite business books. So what are your favorite business books?
Might have lost him again.
Okay. Lost him again, yeah.
All right. We got it. Time to come after the internet provider, I think.
Oh, wait, there he is.
Okay.
Sweet. Armand said 95 days left in 2024. Let's make it count. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming into the streams again. I feel like I've seen you on streams for like a year plus at this point.
Oh, it's year plus for sure. Yeah.
Good to see you.
And Armand's doing great numbers too as well. I want to start FBA. I can go ahead and start with an LLC. I mean, that's completely up to you based on your own personal situation. Probably not going to hurt you to do it. You're not required to have one through Amazon though, so you kind of just got to do your own research on those. Trying Amazon again for the second time, still having a hard time sourcing so many items, either generic, hard gated, IP issues, etc., which I'm not used to. Good. That means all the beginners starting today will be less used to it than you are, and luckily you can adapt however you see fit, basically. But the cool thing is you have a choice to not open up any generic stuff. You can pretty easily figure out which brands are hard gated or not, and then you're not going to buy any keep a chart that shows IEP issues specifically. If you're seeing a lot of that, you're not looking at enough products. You should see like the vast majority of listings you look at should not have those traits. The hard part should be finding stuff profitably. So you're either like limiting your mindset around you think you're seeing too much that to justify lack of results so far, right? Or you just literally just haven't looked at enough stuff. But either way, if you keep going, it's going to work.
Yeah, go to like any storefront of a brand that you see us sourcing on the YouTube channel, right? So start with like a Jockey or 32 Degrees or any Walmart brand, anything like that, right? Anyone who's selling on those listings is probably gonna have a bunch of other products that are open for new sellers right now. And there's still literally thousands and thousands of good brands that you can sell, even though there's a handful that you cannot anymore.
And the cool thing is, now I actually know like way better how to like find shit that's automatic approval too. So you don't even need to get documentation for like a lot of Walmart stuff, 32 Degrees, ColourPop, and then from storefront stalking from there, you're going to find other stuff. Obviously, like specifically those brands. I'm not necessarily saying those are good. I'm more so just saying those are going to let you sell them immediately from the get-go. So you can find other brands that'll let you sell from the get-go as well too, without even needing the purchase documentation, which is easy to get. Just using storefront stalking from there as well too.
Victor was asking a good question here. When does it get signed to transition from RA OA to wholesale? What was it for you, Kaj, that made you start switching over?
Yes, so I always knew I wanted to do wholesale. And for me, the timing came right after a Q4 actually. So in the like Q1 of 2023 is when we switched. And I think at that point we were close to pushing 6-figure months OA. Can't remember exactly what revenue we were doing, but it was something where we had really great systems dialed in for OA. We've been doing OA for like 2 years. And I just knew it was kind of the next step for us. So, I mean, it really depends on what your personal situation is and also understanding what your strengths are. I do think personally, like I know I lean more towards wholesale and OA because one of my greater strengths is like relationship management and kind of seeing the big picture versus sitting there and sourcing and buying. So each person kind of has their own strengths and weaknesses. So kind of taking a stock of that as well, and then figuring out, you know, which model you enjoy the most too.
Yeah, that's a big one. A lot of people like, you know, they might really enjoy the process of, you know, creating a product and, you know, failing a couple times and making the ads and that kind of stuff. You would probably not like doing arbitrage, but you'd love private label. So yeah, it's a combo of whatever you enjoy doing and whatever you can kind of see yourself scaling. At the end of the day, like there's a basically everything works. It's just what can you see yourself doing for the next 5 years that actually makes money.
Yeah. What's your unfair advantage that's going to make you succeed compared to everybody else?
Yeah, because everyone has a little one. Even if it's like for me, one of my unfair advantages is I had 2 younger siblings that were willing to work for me. Right, seems simple, but a lot of the like returns and all that kind of stuff I never had to worry about, so I could spend more time growing. Yeah.
Okay, so you got to get that. Okay, gotcha. Okay. The only issue with most is auto engage. If they're unprofitable, why are people selling them? Why are people selling them? And then the vast majority of products that the brand is selling on Amazon, you won't even be able to sell yourself. So that's another limiting belief as well. Easy brush too, and everything. Now, will that happen occasionally? Of course, right? But the key is if other people are selling it, that makes no sense as to why it would be unprofitable. You just haven't found it profitable yet, which takes time. Obviously, it's part of being new to this.
Yep. Been working for like 3 weeks. Still haven't found a good wholesale supplier. Is this normal? I'm gonna say yes. But how long does it take you guys now to find a new supplier? I would still say even with being a pro, it still takes you a couple weeks to find new suppliers, right?
Yeah. What do you mean by haven't found?
Yeah, exactly.
We've found plenty. Like it's impossible to not find a wholesale supplier. If you mean a profitable one that wants to sell to you, whose invoices work with Amazon, now it gets a little bit more tricky. But 3 weeks, you're brand new, man. So stick with it. We always say too, the longer you're in it, like your approach just changes completely. So like when me and Kaj are reaching out to suppliers now, it's completely different than when we started because we had nobody. So if you don't have a supplier, you're a little bit more, you're going to have to put in the work and then trial and error because you don't know what looks good. A lot of my suppliers that I buy from, if somebody else opened the account, it might look like break-even pricing. And this kind of goes back to the last point too. Like just because something's unprofitable for you, you don't know everybody's buy cost. So just understand there's people out there getting better buy costs than you.
Yeah. So what's your approach if you open that account? It's like, you know, I think this is a good company, but the prices just aren't there.
So same thing, like from scratch beginning, there's a lot of people who set their standards. You know, we hear in the industry, it's like, we want a 30% ROI. I'm not buying anything lower than that. But then mentally, like in your brain, now you see things that are below your standard or you're telling your team and they just pass it over. But who knows if you can open the door with somebody and, you know, it's 5-10% ROI. Obviously that's not sexy at all, but it starts the relationship. You actually gave the guy some cash. So now you're a buyer. And then over time, you know, you work on getting better pricing.
Yeah. I've heard some people, they might even they talk about like buying a negative profit. Or do you ever do anything like that or only slim and try to build a relationship?
I personally wouldn't.
Yeah, I normally don't do negative unless if I really, really know that there's a lot of potential, but no, normally not. One thing I will say is the longer I've been in the game and have just build an understanding of how the supply chain works over time, I can kind of tell when like an initial price sheet where that pricing that they're giving out is really inflated. And I'm like, I know that this price can come lower, especially just based on the kind of product. Also, even like looking at their website pricing, saying like, what are they selling this for on their own website? And what is it going for on Amazon? And knowing that if their wholesale pricing is break even or less, that initial pricing that they're selling it at, they are still have a lot of wiggle room there. So that's another thing that you kind of pick up the longer you've been in the game. When I have that sixth sense, then that's when I'll kind of push a little harder.
Yep. Sweet. Lots of good questions here. So saying, do you spend on promotions for retail arbitrage listings? Not usually, Austin, just because there's usually not quite enough margin left for that. What you can do is you can like bid like a nickel or a dime on a bunch of keywords related to that product, see if anything slips through. But if you're paying like $1 or $2 PPC, like a typical PPC campaign, it's just you're not going to have enough margin left over. I know you do a good amount of PPC though, right, Jonah?
Yeah, just for the brands we're partnered with. So it really was just kind of trial and error. I know you guys probably have tested this too with the catch-all campaigns when you want to get into advertising. So you just start with like a 2% or a 2-cent bid. That was how I started my campaigns, and then realized like there's always those specific brands within that catch-all that perform better than others, right? So what I would do is I'd do the catch-all campaign. I'd see which brands looked like winners, and then I would create like manual campaigns for those brands. And then after that, it was like I learned the skill of, PPC is actually pretty straightforward, in terms of you're bidding on these keywords. As long as you have profit on your product, you might as well keep spending because, scaling sales. So now it's something we're doing for brands directly.
Okay, this is a good one here. Shout out ATL Draco, been bringing it with the questions lately. Miles, could you explain what it means to price your inventory down to the market once the inventory is checked in to avoid price tanking? Yes, I'm going to pull up an example of this too in a sec. But basically, if you match the buy box price when you ship the inventory in, your inventory might show on the listing even when it's not fully checked in. So if the buy box price is 60 and you price it at 60, or let's say you undercut by accident at 59, your delivery date still might show a month out while that inventory is checking in, but you still show on the listing, which is going to cause naive sellers to undercut you further. Instead, what you should do is use Boxum auto list price, 20%, 10% above the buy box, whatever. 20% is a good baseline. 50% Warner talked about as well. And then once you see that it's fully active, you see it show active on Amazon, you see it show active in your repricer, then you move it down to the buy box. And once it's fully active, it's going to have fire delivery dates, aka it's going to show in stock Amazon Prime, and that's going to be very buy box competitive. So for example, if you see the seller in the buy box or sellers on the listing, for example, and their delivery dates are 2 weeks out, it means that's a very uncompetitive listing if that seller's in the buy box, and you can beat the crap out of that person FBM right there. But if you see sellers on the listing that their delivery dates are a month out, 2 weeks out, don't really consider them competitive sellers for now from a pricing perspective. I'm going to pull up an example of this too because it's very important. Y'all agree with that?
Super important.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. It's like, it's so hard to source profitable inventory, right? So like once you send it in, it's good if it sells super quick, but you don't want to like blow your load right when you send everything in. So I agree. Like people don't understand how much the buy box matters with delivery time. So like when you're showing a month out, I would personally just wait. Like don't even try to make sales on that list.
Yeah, because it's unquantifiable. It's a very complex thing. So I get it, right? So for example, let's take a look here, right? So this item, the current seller in the buy box has, for the most part, pretty competitive delivery dates right there, right? Pretty quick. This is a non-prime Amazon account I'm looking at this with, right? And we can see they're at 62, right? Where most beginners will go wrong is they'll scroll down here on SellerAmp, right? Once this loads right here, right? And we can see if we rock and roll down here, right, and take a look at the offers, we can see the buy box price is 62, but there's someone $6 below that, right?
That seller hates money. Do they have like a couple feedback?
They have 0 stars. Yeah, come on.
Right? But
man, 28 and they still don't know how to price yet.
Well, that was probably by accident or something. Yeah. But very true, right? And we can see, guys, look at the delivery dates. These people are not going to be getting buy box. Their delivery dates are really far out. Their inventory is not fully checked in. And where these people went wrong is they're still undercutting the market, basically, right? So even though they didn't really have much chance of getting buy box, right, they're undercutting the market, which basically is going to cause naive new sellers to undercut them. Meanwhile, experienced sellers, like that person in the buy box, for example, is $6 above, didn't give a shit about those about those sellers with the far out delivery dates that aren't fully checked in yet, right? So there's obviously nuance on that and everything, but like a really good, like you'll see examples all the time where like there's so much nuance on like if something's FBM friendly or not. Like for example, you'll see a listing where it's like 9 FBA sellers, no FBM sellers, but like there's like 4 guys that are priced competitively and 3 of them have bad delivery dates. So it's like you could probably FBM that, right? And everything. And then there's the argument of like, okay, like there's 7 sellers, 6 of them are FBA, 1 of them's FBM. No one shows FBM in the buy box stats, but that one FBM guy hopped on it 6 hours ago, right? Which you can see that in the data offers tab. There's a lot of nuance on the stuff and everything basically, but very good question on that ATL Draco. And please y'all watch and let us know any other questions y'all got too.
Miles, do you like FBM?
Yeah, fucking like it's you save so like you reduce risk a lot because you can test a lot later too. Multiple
Especially during Q4, man.
Right, expedited order bump too. Multiple unit orders listing the same SKU on multiple listings if there's multiple listings that exist within the brand, right? Which is rare, but will happen. Right,
So much flexibility.
Yeah, right. You can restock quicker. Boom, order pickups. On the coaching call last night, Kaj used to run those back in the day. We found a couple items that were in stock at Walmart that were in stock for order pickups, and like they were in stock at the Doral, Miami, Florida Walmart. And I was telling homie who was watching, Travis, I was like, dude, you could literally just put these in order pickup and fucking list them right now with zero risk. Cancel the damn pickup order if they don't sell, right? And you quite literally risked $0 and you got great proof of concept, right?
Yeah, you're making sales by the time the call's over. Yeah.
Right. Literally though, right? With no financial risk. It's ironic where it's also less work and less risk. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, you can FBM shoes this on. They're just like a little more expensive. Like $9 to $14-15 depending on how far you're shipping it.
Yep. So a lot more volatility in the profit compared to what FBA would be on a SKU like that. Why a lot of lighter items are better for FBM is because, or not better, but they're better comparatively to shoes, is because there's less volatility in the shipping cost, right? And there's more leverage on expedited shipping, for example, too, right? Because like if an item weighs 2 pounds, you only get $1 extra for expedited shipping if you're charging $1 per pound. But a $90 product with $30 expedited shipping is way worse than a $30 product with $30 expedite shipping. We'll see if someone can break the Amazon Trapper record this year of like the $450 expedited shipping charge right out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Oh, it was something crazy. It was something insane, like a refrigerator or something. That was
refrigerator.
Yeah, you can get crazy expedited on bigger items. Like
I can't remember.
Yeah, somebody was doing dishwashers, and there was like $200 or $300 expedited shipping on those. I saw.
What's the expedited shipping for a Tesla on Amazon?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And then Steven,
is it $0 because it drives itself there?
Yeah. Steven's got a couple like 70 balls where they bought like, some boxers for $30 and paid $70 for expedite. I think that low key is what made Amazon start policing that shit a little bit heavier like a year ago.
Yeah, we didn't get the Jonah business book recommendations. What are yours, Jonah?
Oh yeah, I got a few. So I like Who Not How. Kind of goes into like the whole thing with business is relationships, and that's something I've been learning more about the longer I'm getting into it. So like finding who you can work with is always like the way to go. It's not like, how do I figure this thing out? So who not how. Steal Like an Artist was one I read recently, and really
I'm
like
talking
that book.
Jonah week 1, like changed his whole life. Like when you were playing professional football.
Okay, so I got to steal same one as Warner, the 4-Hour Work Week. Like when I first got into Amazon, that was one of the first books I read, and just mind was blown. Because right after that, now I'm like, what's a virtual assistant? Like this guy has all these VAs, and I went down this VA rabbit hole for like 6 months. It was insane.
We all started reading that book way too early too. You're all making like $500 a month. It's like I can hire. I gotta get a VA. I gotta.
Half the salary go into the VA.
You gotta scale to at least 10K profit a month before you worry about paying salaries and stuff.
So no, you actually don't need to edit that into Boxem. You can just set it as one of your settings on the shipment page, essentially right there. So like, I guess kind of edit it, but it's nice and easy. You'll just see on the top right on the create shipment page of the auto list, 20% above right there.
Do you ever do any in-person Amazon events? Yeah, there's a couple good ones. I think the next one will probably all be out is Miami Sellers Conference.
Yeah, in May.
There was just AMZ United and ASD, which are good ones as well. Really just, anywhere there's a lot of, try to find like reseller specific ones. There's a lot of like private label events that can be good if you like private label, but it's just a way different crowd.
Yeah, you should have your own local ones too, though, just based on like just meeting people on the internet, right? And that like it's going to be pretty damn difficult to find Amazon sellers in your local area without social media, right? Yeah, dude, I could name like literally a couple of my coaching guys hung out in Dallas last weekend, right? And then there's a bunch of guys in Houston too, right? And that you can create these for yourself probably with dudes who live like 10 minutes away from you, right? If you'll put yourself out there.
Start tossing whatever you're up to on social media. Yeah. I'm in this city. You'll see a couple other people doing the same thing, and bang, you got a nice little Amazon seller lunch going.
And it's like crazy when it's like people you played high school basketball again. Like there's all types like ridiculous connections based off it too. But you got to give yourself a chance to get that exposure. And the cool part is that don't cost no money either. It just costs being willing to have your high school friends text you, yo, what the hell are you doing with your life once or twice? Which is worth it in my opinion, but it's not worth it for a lot of people.
How many of those hometown friends have hit you guys up looking for help selling on Amazon over the
years? I deleted all social media, so pretty much none, honestly. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I still have Facebook, but like I don't have Instagram, Snapchat.
I've had a lot. Yeah. I just hooked up my high school best friend. He was like, I'm gonna start a side hustle. I hooked him up with some SellerAmp and stuff the other day. We'll see where it goes. But you always got to hook up the homies.
Yeah, well, tell him to make a video on Twitter and then we'll talk. Right.
You can always tell the ones who are like skeptical versus ones who are actually wanting help. It's like, man, I see you've been doing it for a while, especially all of it here. But like once you start showing what you're doing, people are very interested, and that's the whole thing with. Yeah. That's the whole thing with building your personal brand and content and all that. It's like, as long as you post what you're doing, other people that are like interested in doing the same thing end up finding you. So you got to do it.
Oh, Miles, are you Red 40 maxing over there?
Oh yeah.
So no seed oils, but Red 40s chill.
Like once a month.
Cool.
Yeah. If you take a look like the average Gatorade enjoyer versus the average like seed oil everyday person, probably not even a question here. Oh, I think I got a food for health insurance.
What up, Ali? Ooh, that's a real adult win right there.
Yeah.
There you
go. Sweet. Had some stock. Let's say the buy price is 40. No, why would you put it at 38? Put it at 40 if the buy box is at 40. Always honestly test putting your price like a buck or two above the buy box, like in all scenarios. If it doesn't sell for the first day or two, all right, start matching the buy box. But you can squeeze some profit, especially during Q4. You'll start seeing those buy box price charts where the price like it can't figure out where it wants to be. If you're the guy who's setting your minimum price like at that highest spike, you only make the most profitable sales. You will you'll be having a good Christmas.
Q4, raise your prices.
I listed and it was an RC. The next day I got a compliance email asking for a lab test. Let someone else on listing deal with that shit. Yeah, let someone else on listing deal with that. Ali, let's get a profile pic too, man. You're bringing good energy. Yeah, let's get a profile pic in there. Yeah, let's get a profile pic in there. What's the worst thing beginner or experienced sellers can do? Never talk to other sellers, not even close. That is something that silently destroys Amazon businesses because you have to work way harder, make all the mistakes on your own. Your feedback loop is weeks compared to minutes for sellers who are well connected. And there's all types of shit though. Buying too heavy on unproven listings, using leverage, getting.
I think
waiting on your second Q4 and buying a bunch of shit and expecting it to go up in price just to get your lunch money taken by the Black Friday, Cyber Monday enjoyers right there that are FBMing. That's a big one too.
The one that I see a lot of people lately falling for is like fake suppliers and that kind of stuff. Websites that are a little sketchy. I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. If somebody says, hey, I have Nike t-shirts, $5, those are not real. So you guys run into that a lot more with like wholesale suppliers and stuff. I think we've talked about it before. So, but like, what are the couple things you check so you know, like, hey, these guys are legit. I can buy from them.
Yeah, same thing as it's pretty like straightforward too. Like a lot of the times, search this supplier up on Google. So let's say, I mean, the number one way is you could call up the brand and ask. So if you called the brand and say, can I have a list of your authorized distributors? If they're on that list, they're good to go. Let's say you go directly to a distributor and now you're trying to see if they're legit. Like, what are their Google reviews looking like? What are their, Trustpilot reviews? Are they on the Better Business Bureau? Like, these are all signs that it's somebody who probably has inventory. They probably are legit. They're not trying to scam you, especially when you've seen those suppliers that it's like been in business since 1968. Like, sure, their website sucks and it seems like an 80-year-old emailing you because it probably is. So
yeah,
it's more just like make sure the company is legit.
Yeah, it is funny. Sometimes you'll get on the phone and it's just like this wholesome like old lady, something like that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
That's what they said about Tiger and Lily, though. That is what they said about Tiger and Lily, though.
Was it the prep center at an RV? Is that what you're talking about?
That rugged back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a while
yeah.
ago. That came
I
up in my
remember that.
memories because I'd like taken it. There was like a store near me called Tiger Lily, and so I took a picture of it. It was like 2 years ago, so that was a minute ago. No, you don't need to take the listing down, Ollie.
Yeah, let someone else deal with it. Yeah. Good quality. Well, you'll see it on the listing if it's bad. Like it's gonna have a bunch of shitty reviews and a low sales rank. You know, if it's low quality, right? You know what I mean? Like for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Unless, like some
It usually doesn't really matter, and like it's not your product, so it doesn't matter. Like if there's like a bunch of terrible feedback, see what it is. A lot of times it'll be like, oh, I thought it was supposed to be a 6-pack and it was only 1, and then people are just confused by the listing. That'd be like the only thing I'd be worried about.
Yeah. Or if you mean like selling a used product or a beat up product is new, that's going to get you in trouble. Don't do that.
For sure. I don't know. I think we might have missed this one earlier. Somebody asked, Kaj, how do you deal with competing with larger legit distributors that purchase more at cheaper prices? Just toss it up on Amazon on the side. That's interesting. Do you run into that very much?
Wait, say the question again.
It's from Luke, like 15 minutes ago or something. He said he was running into some distributors that they're also selling to way bigger accounts and they're getting cheaper pricing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that definitely happens. And it's one of those things. One of the reasons why I pivoted towards working directly with brands, and especially smaller brands too, because the supply chain is a little bit more controlled. If you're dealing with the bigger name brand products, you do have to kind of be aware of the fact that that can happen, and just trying to test out the listing, see how well the buy box holds, see how many sellers the listing can support without the price tanking. Because yeah, the market's dynamic. I can't say that there's an exact best way to deal with that. But
I would assume that's also where some group buys come into play, right?
Right. And then the next part is just trying to either get higher up the supply chain or do a group buy, purchase with other people to get a larger quantity in order to get your buy cost down.
Oh, yeah.
All right, going to show a price tanking example too. I'm going to pull up an example here.
And depending on like what the product is too, like maybe you were selling on the single pack and that's where the larger seller came on and is dominating the buy box, driving the price down. But if that product has a 2-pack, 3-pack, 4-pack, however many, like maybe you can diversify, and instead of selling on the single pack, make some for the 2, some for the 3, and then those listings might not be as saturated.
They got my dog Snorlax right here.
Oh,
They got my dog Snorlax right here. Is that Snorlax? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so we can see. So this is what that looks like. Offer count shooting up, price shooting down.
Supply and demand, baby.
Right now, if you want to see the opposite of that, right, I'll show you the opposite of that. Right, where'd that go? We're gonna put. What would I put for that? 20 plus, or no, 0 to 5, but a 30 average of 20 plus. This is gonna be a banger or an IP complaint. Let's see.
Probably an IP complaint.
All right, this should be a good example here. Hey, wealth. Okay, perfect example right there. Perfect example. So this is what you want or stable, and this is what you don't want, right? So we see one is the competition going down, price going up, the good one, and the bad one is competition going up, price going down, right there. So yeah.
Bang. Other sellers add freebies on their listing. Now you can't. You're not really supposed to be able to do that anymore, right? You guys do a lot more like branded bundles and stuff. They're enforcing the like 50% of the value rule now, correct?
yeah. I actually got popped for this like 2 years ago. We were doing brand direct bundles, and like my item I added in was this little dinky keychain, which was like obviously nowhere near the value of the product, but it was selling well. Like the listing was going well, everything, and then just one complaint and had it deactivated, so couldn't sell it anymore. We do other branded bundles. You definitely need the brand's authorization if you're going to launch bundles. So when I launch bundles now, it's like I'll identify a brand or product that's selling well, kind of like what Kaj mentioned earlier. Like people always are only selling on the single item. But a lot of these brands, you know, what if we launch that single item with this other one you have, and now we have a bundle? Like that's a value add right there. So if you're going to do bundles, brands got to be okay with it and don't add in little dinky keychains.
Yeah, because that was the meta for a little bit, but I mean, I'm fairly certain the rule is that like the brand that it says on the listing, if the value is 50% or less, or 50% or more, then that can be the brand name. But like the keychain obviously is not worth the whole rest of the product. So if you guys have seen listings like that, not really the way to go anymore.
Yeah, the Amazon's cracking down on them hard.
Yeah,
the said bundles as they should be. Yeah. Mulog test? No, Mulog, we got
we got you. What's up? Yeah, Ollie, you don't really need to worry about it. You'll get those emails, but I have not submitted one of those in literal years and nothing has happened. I would assume if it's like your private label, you need to worry about it a little bit more.
Cool. All right, guys,
Yeah,
we'll be on a couple more minutes. So whatever questions y'all got, let us know. My bad, didn't. Well, someone had finished. I think it was you, Kaj, finished.
No, you're good. I was just going to tell Ollie, there's a difference when you get complaints from Amazon when it's like specific to you and your account compared to just a listing you're reselling on. So if it's a product complaint, yeah, like Warner said, just leave it.
Nah, there's like a lot of like weird rules and stuff about that. Would not recommend doing that. Yeah.
Profile pic is lit though. I hope that's you.
Yeah, go Bills, baby, go Bills. Yep, go Bills as well too. That's like serious shit. He's on the field level too.
That's why I said I hope it's him.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, my guys. Of course, we got y'all. We're happy to do this for you guys. We like answering you guys' questions. Let's just get a little socials plug around too. Kaj and Jonah, where can people find you guys? What platforms? What types of content, etc.
Yeah, for me, it's my name, Kaj Robinson, CAJUA Robinson, Instagram, Twitter /X, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok.
Yep, same thing. Just my name at Jonah Hodges _, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the good stuff.
Boom.
Absolutely. Yeah, go check it out if you guys want to learn some wholesale. And good, great vibes today.
Hit me up.
Of course, brothers, he's fully committing to the Hogan bit. I love it.
Right there. Where the no, do not recommend those listings, unfortunately, because the brand's kind of proven that they have a presence on there and they could choose to just screw you at any time. So it's probably not going to be a long-term strategy. Do people make money on those listings? Yes. Do I think it makes sense to sell them when you see the brand dominating the area, or we just see the brand on in general? I think there's way easier bread out there from brands who have proven they're not interested in having their own Amazon presence.
Absolutely. Pick up on the next live. All right, we're holding you to that, Ali.
Okay, we will hold you to that. And then the next thing, right? The natural progression from that, Ali, is going to be posting your intro video on Twitter, tagging all the boys, right? And then it's just
then the 30K December, maybe even a 40K December comes.
Well, it depends on videos. I mean, if we're being completely honest, it's gonna depend almost entirely on how many videos you're, because that's how many friends you're gonna make. That's how many Zoom calls you get. If we're being honest, though, yes, right? In terms of inputs that create results, that is a literal fact right there.
Sweet. Oh yeah, I hope you're good, BWC. I saw some crazy videos last night. We were very much fine down in Miami. It was just super windy.
Yeah, no, it was super windy, but good sun maxing back today.
Sweet. Want to go ahead and call it there for the day, gentlemen?
Yeah, appreciate
great vibes.
Tapping in as well too. Yep. Make sure you follow all these guys on socials. Have a great weekend. Tons of good stuff. Buy Box Bandits podcast. Kaj, yours is the Ecom Unlimited podcast, right?
Yep. Ecom Unlimited podcast. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see a link there.
Boom. Bang. So check it out, right? SellerAmp, 2 weeks for free if you haven't tried that. Boxem, 2 weeks free if you haven't tried that. 6-hour free course. Jonah's got a bunch of good content, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Warner's got a bunch of good content, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I got that right the first time. My brain wanted to like that so badly, and everything. But yeah, boom. Hey, shout out BLH right there as well. Shout out BLH right there too. Yes, sir. Cool. Have a great one. Yeah, Ali, you owe us a profile pic.